Peace. Welcome back to the channel. Peace to the gods, peace to the chosen. So I wanted to do a quick upload because I had a few people reach out and actually ask me about what we'll be doing as far as property. I did put up a video probably like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and this was during the time that I had the surgery and I came home and I announced that we were actually going to go look at property and things of that sort. So because I'm still healing, because I'm still, just getting back to myself, we have not put that on hold. We've actually just been doing more research. And I'm glad that we are moving slower because there's so much information that we've learned. And there's also so many different places to choose from when it comes to buying property or renting property. And we are, there's places that are like right next to Mexico. There's so many different countries around us that is very plentiful of food and resources. So it expands outside of Mexico. So we've been doing our research and talking to people about that also because, one thing, being in another country, a lot of people, have a lot of videos about cheap living, apartments, the food and everything is obviously a little bit cheaper because our money just moves different here, and that's beautiful. Yes, you do benefit from it, but that is not why we came here. And that is not something that necessarily makes me happy and brings joy to my life. So we are actually looking at different places where you can really benefit, first of all, with food. Okay, when you have land, it produces food, whether it's fruits or vegetables, if you have chickens, whatever you are doing, when you have land, you can have animals, you can have plants, you can have different resources when it comes to growing food and, for yourself or producing for others. So that's the number one thing, is to be self-sufficient. Like I said, not to knock anyone else that has come here, but we're more in tune with the property. As far as having land, and that land giving us resources, and then at the same time, obviously learning how to grow, how to farm and things of that sort. And like I said, there are places that are in Mexico, right next to Mexico. So definitely do your research of what fits you, your budget, and what it is that you're really trying to gain from being over here. So that's number one. And we will have information and video coming soon, like I said. Because I am still recovering, and just taking our time from the mental exhaustion and stress that came with losing the pregnancy, and me just healing from it. But at the same time, we've gained much more knowledge and information moving forward when it comes to property. So I just wanted to put that out there because I know I had the video and people were like, okay, well, what's going on? So that's what we've been doing. And we actually have some exciting stuff coming more soon with that also. And so, yeah, the property, being self-sufficient, having your food. And then on top of it, that's the number one thing, is to have land to be able to take care of yourself and your family in a more organic way, to be more sufficient. The second thing is, depending on your property, depending on what might come with your property, that might also produce a financial stability, depending on if you want to have a retreat, if you want to have a resort, if you want to have a place where people could just come, and you might have an extra room for Airbnb. So like I said, when you have the land, it does come with a lot of responsibility because you have to take care of it. That's just, you're not going to just have everything growing on its own and it's taking care of itself. You have to be able to take care of that. So that's a responsibility that we're up for, and we want to teach our children. Also, that's another thing. It's not just me and my husband. We have our daughters here, which are 10 and 11. And hopefully, I also have 2 sons that are in the U.S., and hopefully they will be joining us in the future as well. So this is something that I want to share with my children to, they don't have to necessarily live this way. They don't have to permanently be here in another country, but it's just opening them up to a different way of living, to culture, to just learning what being outside the country has to offer. So, we're not the type of parents or people to like push this on our children, but it definitely just helps to keep them well-rounded. And as they get a certain age, I want them to be able to travel and just do what they want, but they had this experience that we're giving them. So that's very important as well. When you talk about homeschool, this is going to be a lot of learning on its own. With the difference of the culture, the language here, the food we've been learning about, and also, like I said, when we do, because we are getting closer to kind of making our circle, narrowing down where we want to be at. And we're just kind of waiting to some couple things go through, and also for me to just feel better, because I feel better, but I just want to make sure I'm better, because once you start moving around and traveling, I don't want to put that stress and exhaustion on my body. So we're just taking our time, and that's one thing that I'm very grateful of being here in Mexico, is that it is a slower pace. It gets extremely boring, but it teaches me to slow down, and it has taught me a lot of patience, as well as my husband and my daughters. So sometimes when I call back home and I'm having conversations, I could tell the conversations they're just different, and that's another thing I want to be very broad on, is that we are creating a platform, a channel, a Patreon page where we are about solutions. We don't want to waste time and energy about who we don't like. We don't want to waste time and energy about so much of our trauma, what we've been through. We really just want to share our experience and be able to help other people, especially the families and the people that are traveling and really want to, have a different type of lifestyle with them producing their own food. And that's something that we've been learning. Like I said, that's a big responsibility. It's one thing to say you want land, but you have to take care of it. You have to know when to plant and when to water, when to cut, when to do this. And then if you're going to have animals as well, which I know most likely we will. And it's not necessarily to eat, because, I don't see myself doing that. But just to have some on the land. We love animals, so why not have a couple chickens running around and, whatever else we might want. So just to give you guys an update on that. And I appreciate all the love and support. Like I said, I definitely have people that have been following us since we were in the States, that message us, people that I have met during my time in Mexico, whether it's in person or just on this beautiful platform of being on YouTube and on social media. So I appreciate all the love and support. We're at a place in our life where we don't want to entertain any negativity, and we definitely don't want to entertain people that don't have our best interests. One thing I can say is that when you are at your weakest, when you are financially at your weakest, when you are physically at your weakest, basically when you're sick and when you're broke, you're going to see who really has your back. You're going to see who really loves and cares for you, because when you're at your best and you're healthy, when you're financially okay and people are around you, they're enjoying your fruits and your labors and everything. But once things really get funky, once you are in a financial bind, once you are maybe going through something mentally, once you are going through something physically, you get to see who really has your back. And the universe has been definitely revealing that to us in a place that's sooner than later. And I know why she's doing that is because once we venture into our next step, especially with the property, you want to make sure that you're bringing the right type of energy and definitely the right type of people, even if it's just them enjoying your space and your family. And I know that, so I definitely appreciate that. So make sure you guys like, share, subscribe to the channel. We're still working on the Patreon page. I was actually on it today because we have some uncut and exclusive information that we want to share with people, which will be a very, very small monthly fee, and you guys will get more up close personal information and also get to know me and my family a lot more. So make sure you guys are meditating and hydrating. Most importantly, make sure you are loving yourself and make sure you're forgiving yourself.